You crazy mother. Yeah.
It's just BurnEye.
Hey, BurnEye just like last week, huh?
Weekend at Bernie's.
Hello. Welcome, everybody. This is a emergency broadcast. Joining with us, David Stig Hansen, currently detained, trying to get on his way to the Eye of the Sahara, the Rishat structure. And apparently they changed the laws on you just in January on how to enter Mauritania from the previous 3 times that you've been there before, and now they've taken your passport and you've been held in the airport for over 24 hours, is it?
Yeah, we're getting it 34 hours right about now. I just want to show you 2, and then the other one. This is not my current passport. This is a previous passport, and the current passport has been taken away. I'm with my traveling partner, and he also got his passport taken away. That is the previous landing, we should say arrival visas. And I checked for that. I did do a live stream earlier. Somebody said they found where it said that the arrival visas are no longer acceptable. But then I've also heard that some countries can do it. I do want to say, first of all, I love the Mauritanian people, the culture here. It's so beautiful. I'm a desert person. That's why I keep coming back. I'm not afraid to come back here later too. But I also want to mention that this is not a criticism of the government or the royalty here. It's just a glitch in the law as far as I'm concerned. The
right?
new laws,
And you were mentioning too, and this is the first thing that came to my mind with the fact that the laws changed January 5th, one day before, January 6th, and then January 20th, where Trump got in, and then it's like it's put the whole world politics up into the air, and then as an American now you're traveling and then trying to enter into a country like last minute, like you had in the past. I guess it would kind of seem maybe suspicious to them, but you also weren't aware that they changed their policies, where you were saying when you're speaking with some of the Russian YouTubers and people that you also traveled to Mauritania that also have gone out to the Rashats and are exploring it, that it seems like for them, they still have that possibility potentially, and it's the American aspect that's changed it for you.
Yeah, the main reason why I said it, it's not, like I said, it's not to criticize the government. It's actually to point out that other people, this can happen to you if you don't know. So yes, another thing I should say is that this was announced long before Trump was even elected. It was like back in August. And so I don't think that may or may not, I don't know. But what I would say is that, yes, my mistake was that I assumed that the regular arrival visa was still in effect. And I knew about the e-visa. And as you mentioned, the Russian group said that they had done the e-visa. And that's when I learned
they had done the e-visa there.
The e-visa is basically you get on the internet and you do everything online. The reason why I thought it was an option, a beneficial option, was because
for one, the main thing, it's what you did the last 3 times that you entered the country, right? In 2022 and 2023.
I knew about it. And so what I think, I always thought it was going to benefit the speed. So the previous times, one time it was pretty quick, but I'm always first off the plane. Another time I wasn't, and I got to the end of the line and I ended up standing there for an hour, and I thought it was an option to bypass that line. You had a QR code, you scan it, and then you have to pay when you arrive. So it's like there's no risk in doing it online. But yes,
now it's mandatory online, and that's why you've been detained.
You have to do it online, and you have to do it 72 hours in advance. In fact, if we're still here in the next 24 hours, it may be because, let me tell you the story. We got off the plane.
Yeah,
as I exited the plane, the first person said, "Where's your online visa?" And I said, "No, I don't have that. I want to do," well, that's when everything started to become a problem. And even though I wasn't like detained right then and there, I mean, you're still inside, so this you are detained in a way, but no official like take your passport thing was because I already knew where to go. And I'm like, no, we want to go over here. And I went over there. I even gave him my money. And the money was handed back to me and said, no, you have to do it online. And so, like I said, for a short amount of time, I thought we were going to be able to get it done.
But
And
so sorry, I'm just very short on time,
Sure.
David, before I have to head out to work. And just for everyone joining in or unaware, you're on your way. You've been to the Reshat structure, the Eye of Africa, the Eye of the Sahara, 3 times before. This was your 4th attempt. You were crossing over from Spain, and
we were crossing over from Morocco.
Or Morocco, okay, and that the e-visa takes 72 hours for approval, right? So it's that you were trying to just get in and get the on-site approval, so you didn't have to wait that, because you're on a very it's YouTube travelers and just trying to get out there and stuff. It's like plans aren't as solid as like other places, especially going into the heart of the Sahara of Africa, right? So it's like you're just trying to do how you did before to get out there to do this research, because like you're proven that it's seems like it was the original Atlantis city. At the very least, there's very suspicious giant channels, like megalithics, like just all sorts of stuff, and that you've been bringing awareness. You've been studying this site for years, doing like literally hundreds, if not thousands, of videos of the Eye of the Sahara, the Reshat structure in Mauritania. So it's like you're just trying to do positive research, bring awareness and tourism to this country, and that now you've just been caught up in this issue, but you're in a time crunch because you're trying to get out to the Eye of Africa while you're still there. And you also have a second spot that you've identified that you call the Giant's Quarry that you also want to go investigate on this trip out, which you've since found from Google beforehand. And that, right, it's like there's just so much to do, and this just a big setback that hopefully within 24 hours they just detaining you for the 72 that it takes for that e-visa to go through.
The worst case scenario. I thought we were going to be able to expedite it, but like I said, we weren't able to enter in the right date on the website. They told us we had to do it right away. So again, I could have made a mistake when that happened, but I had no other choice because I was trying to complete an online goal. The only thing that may have been a mistake is the airline letting us get on the plane in the first place. The airline is supposed to stop you if you don't have the right documents. I knew that from my time in Taiwan, that you needed to have an entry. Well, if you, as an American, you can come into Taiwan for 30 days, or now it's 90, as long as you have a leaving ticket. And I did everything I thought was right. And so when we arrived, the airline should have recognized that we didn't have the appropriate visa information, and they should have stopped us from getting on. And that was Mauritania Airlines, and they should know the rules the best. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. It was honestly the website itself. We checked it. I checked it a long time ago. I was gonna do but we didn't buy the ticket till the last minute. We're going one way on this trip, and so I didn't have 72 hours before we were going to arrive. So I just felt that the best decision was to do the arrival visa. Even if we had done the application, it never said on the website that we had to mandatorily do the E option. The website gave the selection. You have a 30-day choice, a 90-day, 60-day, a year. And so, of course, we chose the 30-day. And then I didn't go through with it, but I read everything I could to make sure that I was following the rules. And honestly, when you implement a new system like that, it really should overlap and not actually.
And I got to just quickly point out that you were just going the way that you had done, like the manner in which you'd entered that country 3 times prior when you went there, and that you were just following the same procedure again. And so I just got to put in from my own personal experience as a Canadian. I used to, with this WestJet airline of Canada, I used to have free standby flights with them. So every time I'd fly to the US, it would be like a one-way trip because it's standby. So they'd give me such scrutiny because you're only going with a one-way ticket, right? You're supposed to have that ticket back. And that why you're in this similar situation right now with just a one-way ticket booked is because you're literally going there to go out into the middle of the desert to this Richot structure, as well as these what you call the Giant's Quarry, this giant rock section, but it's like way out, like how many miles from like the coast of the airport sort of thing, like just
and let me just say that I lived in Taiwan 25 years, and going back to the USA, it was incredibly narrow-minded of the United States when I would enter, and they would say stuff like, well, they wouldn't say to me, but friends from Taiwan. But to me, one of the things that really got me was when they would say, "Where are you coming from?" And I would say Taiwan, and they said, "Oh, China." And I'm like, "You're a U.S. Official agent, and you're telling me you don't know the difference?" That I think has changed. However, friends of mine coming from Taiwan, if they don't have the exit, they would literally stop them from coming in, sometimes send them home. And it's sad because, I mean, my circle of friends is not evil. They're not illegal immigrants. Yes, there's a dream about people in Taiwan don't even want to go to America anymore. So they want to go to Canada or maybe Europe. And it was a surprise when the same thing happened to me in a different way here when I came in. And yeah, I take responsibility for not understanding the law when I entered. However, the website's in Arabic and I speak English, and everything in English didn't mention anything about mandatory E. And like I said, it wouldn't have mattered because we wouldn't have had the time to go through that. I guess you use an email and then they send it to you in that email. And we still haven't gotten the QR code, if that's what it is. You come in and you have a printed QR code in your hand, or there's a QR code in your pocket, and sorry, on your phone. And then you show that to the person. And literally, if I wanted to be a bad guy, I could have chosen any QR code and shown it to the guy, but I didn't know.
There's zero nefarious intent. And I also just have to quickly point out that another possible reason why they've detained you like this is there's a lot of controversy with these troublesome IRL streamers that go into other countries just to cause trouble, like this ridiculous one guy in South Korea and whatnot. And it's like, this is the exact opposite. You're literally on the inverse side of the spectrum, where you're a respectful returning tourist, as well as like researcher, investigator, that's literally trying to put together groups of more people to go back with you and keep coming back to this anomaly, this mystery that on ancient maps is literally called Atlantis, and the Richot structure perfectly matching Plato's ringed description of the main city capital of Atlantis. And
don't forget the mouth.
That's what's driving you, right?
Yeah, of course, the mouth of the Richot structure has a 50-mile long canal through the southern Drawer Mountains, pointing right at it. And an artifact was found there. Nothing like you could pick up and put in your pocket and steal, but something so big, I think I've shown you, that it deserves some attention. And I would think that it would be really good for the tourism here. And I know a lot of people that want to take the tour. I hope they still consider it after this. It might change things. And maybe that makes Jimmy Corsetti correct when he always says, "I don't want to go."
No, I'm interjecting, and it's that the next tour, because I've been saying I'm coming along with you on one of these, so we're gonna do another one, but we're gonna plan it out properly and apply months in advance with everyone's e-visas to avoid this. But it's that the authorities in Mauritania need to just check out your YouTube channel and see all of like the positive research videos you've done on bringing awareness of like their beautiful land that is this enigma of ancient something, right? That, you're just trying to just like there's tourism in Egypt, just like there's tourism in Jordan with Petra, Egypt, the Giza, right? You're just trying to do the same sort of thing for Mauritania in Mauritania.
Yeah, take a look at the $20. It's not dollars. It's sorry, I forget how to pronounce it. It's very difficult. Ogia. 20 Ogia note. See what's on there? Obviously, it's recognizable, but unfortunately, a lot of people here don't even know what that is. And I'm not talking about just the folks on the street. So I do want to encourage more knowledge to be known about this place, even within the country. And that's why ever since we arrived in the airport, people are so kind in Mauritania and helping us. And I've got a couple of handlers outside trying to help us, and very kind people.
Handler could be the wrong word, more like Sherpas, people that like are helping you travel that you've been with before, right? Like,
yeah,
you say a handler, that sounds like
I'm talking about people who are directly talking on our behalf and reaching out on our behalf. A fixer is another word, but I think that's a little bit
locals that you're get involved with for the tour that you were booked for to go out there in the first place, that are now trying to help you to get you through the process.
Yeah, coordinator is a great word. Coordinators, and these are people I've known for a few years now and traveled with inside the country. We were going to travel together, and they're so disappointed that I didn't make it inside, and regretful that this small glitch has created such a big
hopefully we're all praying for you, and that it hopefully will work out, that within 24 hours from now you're going to be calling me from your satellite phone from the Rishot structure.
Well, that was the plan, wasn't it?
Through, right?
I spent $200 to get this.
It still is the plan. It still is the plan. We're lobbying the Mauritanian authorities to understand that it was a simple mistake. You love the country. We all love the country. We're trying to bring more tourism, more awareness, share the beauty of it, document it, and that we promise when I join David the next time we come, we will definitely all have our e-visas much ahead of time.
Hey, and
so we're running out of time, but quickly, Dave, can you hold up to the camera your previous passport that you have with you that shows the 3 stamp times you've already been there, and that it was this original process that didn't require the e-visa that you thought you were doing this time, thus why you didn't have it, and why this whole fiasco has tragically happened.
And I don't want to hold it too close, but while I grab the one page that has that, I don't want to hold it too close for personal information.
For sure. Do not dox yourself as well, of course.
2 out of 3. And the next one, 2022, I went twice. In 2024, I went once. And those visas were arrival visas. I was just going to say, if you want to learn everything we've talked about, that is the website. That's my personal website, but my YouTube is davidstighansen.com/my middle name /@stig. And you'll never find a video where I talk bad about what the government here and what we found here, or if it's being suppressed. The point I was trying to make with the note is that people just don't know. And if anything, maybe that's one reason why people don't want people to know about certain things. And I understand that, but so far, every trip and other YouTubers have gone, and I meet people all the time that have gone. Even in this airport, I've met people who have gone there. And there's several tours set up. So really what this is all about is just to make sure this doesn't happen to you or whoever when they are making the plan to come. Because of the change, it's super important. And finding the link's tough, but it's super important to do the e-visa 72 hours in advance for all the people on the tour, and make sure it's the date of arrival is before that visa or on that date for sure.
And I have up your YouTube channel right now with the link. And for the lovely Mauritanian authorities that will hopefully let you through, if they see this is all of your positive, your whole content on your channel is just positive research on their beautiful land and investigating into it and your previous trips there, right? It's like,
Plato said that the mountains to the north, they weren't talking about those that are around. He was talking about the Atlas Mountains, AKA the Atlantis Mountains. What is that, an ad? Yeah, unfortunately, I also am getting commercials here on the YouTube because a lot of things don't click. You can't be a premium member, no commercials here. The other thing I was going to say is that Morocco is Atlantis. I believe that the twin of Atlas received that part. And yes, the Tamanrasset Paleo River separated the two brothers' kingdoms. The concentric circles that you're looking at right there, those are in Mauritania. And yeah, you can see those cut throughs. I know you're showing those right now.
Every city has one of those circles.
There's more than one circle in Sahara Desert. You can find, this is quite prominent, but you can find these types of circles everywhere.
In today's city layout.
Yeah, even in the layouts inside the city, the city itself has circles, and not necessarily this city, but when you go throughout all the ancient towns, Madrid for sure, we were just there. Also, don't forget Cadiz, they have the circles, not in the roads, but actually in kind of under their water. They also have in Morocco, I saw some circles. There's lots of road outlet laying. Circles are definitely sacred geometry. And usually it's the city center right in the middle. So I think that this is not just a myth. And you're showing the you're showing the Piri Reef map. If you follow, you can see how clear that coast is and where the Tamanrasset led from that specific point where we already know that was where the actual river exited the continent. Following that up, you see those two circles right there. And yes, there's a bird in the middle of it, but I think that's for illustrative purposes. But the two circles could be, number one, the Rishat structure. And then the second one is the second set of circles I showed you right there. You got it. And those circles are, if you connect the two centers, they're perfectly aligned with the ancient equator that connects Giza and Easter Island. Those are that's where I wanted to go. That picture, I don't necessarily think I could have made it there unless that's the mound. I can't see. But yeah,
this is your Giants playground area. This was the second area you're hoping to make it to on this trip, and hopefully they're able to let you through, and hopefully people donate and it all works out. You're still able to get to this site, this trip, and at least to the Rishat. I'm sorry, David, and your traveling companion. I have to run to work.
Okay, we'll see you later. I think someone's trying to talk to us. So let's hang up and I'll talk to you later. Maybe this is our passports now.
We're praying it is. Keep us updated. Okay. God bless you both. Safe travels, and hopefully we get a satellite call from you from the Rishat structure within 24 hours.
I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Much love. Thank you all. God bless, and safe travels for David Stig Hansen, and we pray that they let him through and he's able to make it. Wishing you all
You crazy mother. Yeah.
It's just BurnEye.
Hey, Bernie, just like last week, huh?